and welcome to episode 66 of Little Big Knits. This is a podcast about knitting primarily, and if you've been here before, you know that very well. Welcome to all of those who are returning as well as new viewers. My name is Selma, I'm your host. I'm coming to you from Ottawa, Canada, where I live with my family and our cat named Yoda, who makes an appearance occasionally. You can find me on social media, Ravelry, Instagram as Selma Knits, so feel free to come and find me on either of those two platforms. So today we've got a slightly different show, I have to tell you, and again, excuse me, there's always family sounds. It's just the way it goes. So we've got a bit of a different show. First, I'm going to start the show by announcing prizes for our 5-year Podiversary. Yay! Little Big Knits started, I think the first episode was on June 17th of 2017, I believe, something like that. And I've been podcasting ever since, so it has been 5 years. I've got 3 prizes to share with you today, and I'll give you a prompt for that. I'm going to share you some of my whips. I have no finished objects. Truth be told, I've had less knitting time in the last little while than I normally would, and a little bit less mojo too. So there's a little bit less knitting. However, I also am going to be sharing with you a segment of with myself and my friend Kate. We did a little I don't even know how long it was, 10, 13 minutes together. So I'll be putting that in. I'll be sharing my acquisitions because there's a lot of, I have to say, in the last month. This is also my first time sponsoring a product. And I'm very happy to be doing that because I very much enjoy this product. I'll be sharing with you some shoes by a company called Vivaya, and I'll be doing that a little later and showing them to you and talking to you about them. And then I'll be leaving you at the end of the show. I'm not sure about the order of all of these things, but I'll be leaving you with footage from the last month. While my friend Kate was here, I'll tell you all about it, and you'll get to see the footage at the end of that if you stick around for that. So thank you so much for joining me today, and let's get going. So, firstly, we've got prizes. As I said, 5 years of podcasting, and we have 3 wonderful prizes today. So you're going to have the choice of 2 prompts for this prize. One is there a project of what I've shown you on Little Big Knits? Is there something in particular that was particularly memorable for you? Was there a project of mine that really enabled you or inspired you or taught you, or for whatever reason you remember particularly well, for some whatever reason? And the second potential prompt, you can use one or the other, is what is bringing you joy in your making, whether it is what you're working on right now or something you discovered recently or something like that. So those are 2 potential prompts. Any comment below, unless you tell me you do not want to enter the giveaway, will be considered a giveaway. So if you cannot think of anything from either of those prompts, you can just make a comment below. So there are 3 prizes. The first prize will be a ring from Corina Lunita. Sorry, I just wanted to show you the box. I do not have the ring. Corinne will be making it for you directly, but I wanted to show you mine as well as put up some pictures. But you will recall, if you've been around, that this is one of Corinne's rings and that she made for me, and she has very kindly offered one up for the podcast prize as well as one of the giveaways. I'm very thrilled for that. Thank you so much, Corinne. Her work is so beautiful, as you can see in the pictures, and I really enjoyed the ring. And Corinne has other very interesting and lovely jewelry, by the way. I often go and look. So that is the first prize. The second prize will be contained in this pouch that was a Franklin Habit pouch that my friend Amy had sent. And in here I have put some Tuft woolen soap, some, what do you call those, light bulb markers that come from Pip and Pin, because it also has this lovely wooden container which has different darning needles in it. It's got a couple of different darning needles in it. It's really beautiful. And when I ordered that, it came with some light bulb markers, as well as a pouch of soap and a little container. So those will all come in this pouch as one of the prizes. And then the last prize is a glorious skein of the Cami Jo knits. And with it, I showed this to you last time. This is her sock base, which is an 80-20 extra fine merino and 20% polyamide with a beautiful speckling on here. And this is called One Night in Bangkok. And I will be giving this away with these stitch stoppers, which were a lovely, lovely offering from this shop. She is in Fox and Pine, and Tara is in Prince Edward Island. And she contacted me and asked me if I wanted to test out some of her things, and I was like, absolutely. So these are the ones that are staying with me. These are stitch stoppers. And she has some other ones here, and I'll be adding some into the pouch as well. And then she has these really neat little, what are called stitch huggers, that I'm really intrigued to try. So you would put them on each end of the needles, and then they would just stay crossed and stay together. So thank you so much for that, Tara. And I'm gonna add these ones with the Cami Jo knits yarn. So those are the 3 prizes that I'm offering up as the 5-year Podiversary prize. So feel free to comment below and enter to win one of those 3 prizes. So let's get on to the knitting. Just a very quick note about what I'm wearing. I am wearing a top that I sort of self-drafted, I don't know when that was, a while ago. It is made out of this very interesting yarn called Barocco Mykonos, and it was like a, not a chainette, but it was like almost like a wrapped yarn, and I believe it was linen and viscose. I'll have to put it down here. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was an unusual yarn, but it makes for a very good light summer top, because we've got some good heat happening here in Ottawa right now. And yeah, I just decided to wear this today, and I'm just wearing it with a little skirt. And yeah, it was a top that I had sort of designed myself from the bottom up. I put these little pearl ridges every once in a while. Very, very simple top, and that's what I'm wearing today. All right, let's get on to knitting. Speaking of Cami Jo knits, Camilla is also is a yarn dyer, but she's I think started designing before she started dyeing yarn, and she has a shawl called the Giselle Shawl, which I believe I showed you last time, and I cast it on. And it is going to be a bit like the half and half triangle shawl. It's one where you create one half of the shawl with one yarn and another half of the shawl with the other yarn, and it ends up being a rather large square that you can then wrap around. And I'm on, which was all scrunched up in my bag, I am on this first half of the triangle. The shawl takes about 4 skeins of yarn, and I'm on the second skein of the first yarn. And this is the Arctic Crafts single ply yarn in the Moody Mauve that I am using. And I don't actually have the other yarn. I've been housing this project, and it's getting a little bit too big for this bag almost. This is the Alex Collins Designs bag, and I put the project in here for now. So I didn't have all the balls of yarn with me, but the next one I showed you last time is going to be a lovely I think it was called Raspberry Pink. I can't remember, I'll have to look up the ball, but you'll see it next time, I expect, because I'm hoping to finish the first half of the triangle. But yeah, so this has been a really lovely project to work on because it's garter stitch. So it's just really lovely and simple. And I'm knitting it using a 3.75 millimeter needles. Camilla had called for 3.5, and I normally would use a 4 in a shawl, so I decided to compromise, and I'm using a 3.75. And I think with the mohair, a larger needle would probably make for an overly airy fabric, but I think this should be okay. We'll see. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful color from Arctic Fibers, or Arctic Crafts rather, and just really potato chippy at this point, and a really enjoyable project. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to the second half of it, and on which there'll be some very simple lace, and then rather than increases, we'll be doing decreases. So yeah, looking forward to that. So that is project number 1, and one that I've been enjoying a lot. The second one is actually a test knit, and I'm not going to show you the full thing. I've just finished the first sock, and there's this much left of the yarn. I'm using some Patton's Croy that I had in my stash in a gradient color, color number 202102, I believe. It's a gradient, and I won't show you the entire stitch pattern, but I'll just show you the bottom of the foot, and so you can see how the gradient works on this. And this is a lovely sock pattern that is being designed by, or that has been designed and is being tested by Marceline Smith, who is also known as Hey Brownberry. And she hasn't announced a date for these socks yet. So I'm not going to show you the whole sock yet, but they're called the Weekend Stroll socks, and hopefully they'll be out in the next month about. They're in the testing phase now. I finished my first sock and going to be moving on to the second sock. So that's been an enjoyable one. I can't share a whole lot more about it. I can tell you that it's been in this lovely bag by my friend Kate of the Hawthorne Cottage Craft. I have to say, I do like a drawstring bag. There. The other project that I actually have in a bag that I made years ago, when I had an Etsy shop called Little Creek Designs, and this was a bag that I had made. I even got a label there, but I kept it for myself. In here is a very bright pair of socks. You may remember that last time I finished the fairy tale socks. They were a yellow lace pair of socks. I'll put a little picture here. This is designed by a Ukrainian designer named Vicky Morotz, who also has a shop called D19 Eco-Friendly Life on Etsy. She sells different wooden accessories for knitting, such as blockers and gauge measures and so forth. She also does some designs, and I bought some sock patterns. And last time I made the fairy tale socks, and I was so in love with them that I wanted to knit them again. And so I am making them in this bright. It's coming on a little bit brighter than it really is in real life, but this is the yarn that I had used for the cuffs, heels, and toes of a pair of socks I showed you last time, and it is the West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply in their cayenne pepper colorway, and I had used it for those, but I am now making socks, and as you can see, I've just done the heel flap and done the turn, and I'm ready to do the gusset decreases. And I really, really like this lace pattern. It's just very addictive, and the other socks are so darn pretty. I thought I'm going to use this yarn to do that, and yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So little by little, this sock is getting done, and hopefully I'll finish that sock at least by the next time I podcast. But it's not necessarily sock wearing season here because we've got 30-degree weather, but they're just a wonderful thing to work on. So I actually started these before I started the test knit. So I thought after I finish the first sock of the test knit, I'll work on this a little bit before starting the second sock of the test knit. So yeah, so those are the projects that I'm spending a lot of time on. I've got two more projects and they're both sweaters. So this is actually yarn that I bought while Kate and I were in Montreal. I have used this yarn before and thought I would probably never get a chance to knit with it again. And then when we walked into a shop in Montreal, Crochet et Compagnie, actually in Verdun in Montreal, lo and behold, there was a basket of this yarn sitting on the floor. And I decided to buy a sweater quantity. So, and honestly, I hadn't planned on buying any yarn to Montreal. I didn't buy any other yarn, but when I saw this, I thought this is kind of an opportunity because it's not easy yarn to find. And this is, I don't actually have the label here because the rest of the balls are upstairs, but this is a Lang Yarns Lino. And I made the summer solstice cardigan with this years ago, and the On the Beach sweater by Isabel Kramer, which is a free pattern. And the On the Beach ended up a little bit large in the top, so I don't wear it very much. But the summer solstice cardigan I wear every season. It's a nice linen cardigan to wear. This is a 100% linen cardigan that is a chainette. And they had some lovely colors. This was a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. It's a little pale, but both Kate and the shop owner were like, that looks really fun. I thought, you know what, something a little bit different. And I thought, I don't want to buy the yarn unless I have a project in mind. And then I thought, I know exactly what I want to make. So I have started making the Tulip Guernsey. I don't know how well you're going to see that. This is a pattern by Midori Hirose, known for the ranunculus. And this is a long sleeve sweater, but she does have on her Ravelry page, she has a summer version. And I've been looking at that summer version for quite a long time. So when I picked up this yarn, I thought, that's what I'm making. I'm making a summer version out of this. And I have finished the front to the, the division for the arms here, and I need to now pick up for the back. So I'm really, really enjoying this. This was one of these, slightly complicated starts, a little bit like the Afra that I showed you last time. And yeah, I have to get used to the color because it's a little different for me, but at the same time, I'm really kind of excited about it. I think this will look really nice with like a white tank top underneath and nice white pants, which is something that I often think in the summer, that'll look really nice with white. So yeah, really enjoying this, knitting this on, I think 5mm needles, and it's just going along. I'm at the point now where I'm going to be picking up for the back, doing the same on the back, and then knitting in the round for the body. And this will be short sleeved. I'm not adding sleeves to it. So once I've finished the body, it will be finished. And I'm really enjoying it. I love this yarn. It's got an interesting texture. Because of the chainette construction, it is quite, it doesn't have the same flexibility as wool, but I find that the chainette is definitely not the same as knitting with the regular plied linen, which I think can be a little harder on your hands than this. So if you're somebody who struggles with linen and cotton, you may be able to knit with a chainette more easily. I do think that even Knit Picks has the Lindy chain, so I don't know if people have a different experience with that. Feel free to comment below if you think that this is easier to knit with than the regular linen if you have knit with linen. So that is a sweater that's on the needles that I'm enjoying, and it is being housed in this glorious summer bag by Harrington Bags. So I've got two of her bags. I've got one that I use in the winter and then one that I use in the summer that I really, really like. The last one is not a project yet. It's been a project and now it's not a project. And it's being housed in this wonderful bag, the Knitterati bag. I think Patricia hasn't made these in a while, but this is one of the bags by Patricia of Paradise Island, and you'll be hearing about her and seeing her later because she joined us on a part of our trip when my friend Kate was here. So in here are two skeins of the Akara silk linen that I had shown you guys last time. And I had decided that I was going to cast on the Kala top by Megan Nodecker of Pip and Pin. However, I started knitting it. It starts with lace at the top. This is actually turning into a real mess in here. And I just really wasn't enjoying it. I just really wasn't enjoying it, so I ripped it out after 4 rows. Each row felt like a chore. And I don't know that it's necessarily the actual lace, and I enjoy lace normally. There was something very unusual, and I think it was partly this yarn. Perhaps it made it more open than it looks like in the picture. Or I just really didn't enjoy the lace. I don't know. I would like to, I really love that top, and I've wanted to knit it for a while. And the pattern was a gift from my friend Sue. But I think what I'm gonna do is try that with a regular fingering weight superwash merino and see what happens there. But I have a plan for this. I have decided that this is going to be the Lapis top, which is a top by Yamagara. I'll put a picture up here. And it is a striped top, partly striped top with the chevron detail, and I've decided that I'm going to do that with the black as part of the stripes, and then the blue on top. This black is a little bit starker than I would have liked, but it's what I have. I wish I had, actually I might have a dark gray up there, so I might see if I have something else. If not, I'll probably be using this, because I thought the stripes would be on the bottom, so they'd be, and I could wear them with black pants or a black skirt, and then you'd have the top itself in the blue. And I think that that is definitely going to be my project. I can't imagine it not working out. But it's funny because I've really been struggling to, I was gonna make the Opale by Emily Vallée, I believe her name is. But I realized that I probably needed a more structured yarn than this one. But yeah, I think that I have to sort of think a little bit about the structure of the yarn, and that's a good lesson. This yarn is drapey. It doesn't mean that it can't work for, like, I think it's gonna be perfect for the t-shirt, and I probably could make something like this with it. But somehow I think with the lace it's gonna be very open, so I guess it depends on how open you want that lace to be. This would be perfect for something where, you know, you really wanted it to be open, but it just somehow at the top, I wasn't enjoying it at all. And I don't know if it's the lace in that pattern or it was the lace yarn combination. So anyway, I am still on a mission to make this sweater before Twist Fiber Festival. So I better get a move on that because that's in a month and a half. And yeah, so that will be cast on very, very shortly. And that's what I've been working on. It seems more now that I look at it than I feel like it has been. So one thing I wanted to share with you is this new mug in my collection in which I'm drinking my fennel tea. I got this in Picton in Prince Edward County on our road trip. So a new mug in my life. So I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Vivaya shoes. Vivaya is sponsoring this segment today, and I wanted to share these shoes with you. I've been looking for flats for a long time, and I've really had a hard time finding flats. Just simple, lovely flats that I could wear with just about anything. last year, no, not last year, probably 3 years ago actually, I bought some flats online. I loved the idea of them. People were talking about how much they liked them. They were a sustainable company, using sustainable materials for their shoes. So I bought myself a pair of flats, and I couldn't even wear them once. They just would flip off my foot. They just didn't work for me. So I kept looking. Vivaya came up on my Instagram feed, and I was quite intrigued by their company and went on their website a lot. And then I finally decided to buy a pair. And around the same time, a friend recommended them as a potential sponsor to me. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just hold off. I want to try the shoes when I get them. And I realized I really like these shoes. So I contacted them and said, I would be happy to sponsor you. It's not something I've ever done on the show before. It's not something that I would do regularly. But they sent me 2 extra pairs of shoes that are these ones here. And Vivaya essentially is a company that works with sustainable materials. They take plastic bottles, chip them down, and then spin them into yarn, essentially, and then create a knitted fabric. Actually, they may be easier to see on the shoes that are not. They create a knitted fabric, and so their shoes are actually really soft. I've worn these a lot, and they look perfectly new. So they spin the bottles into fabric and create the fabric for the shoes. These shoes are extremely flexible. They're machine washable. They have a really lovely padding at the back, so they're very comfortable. I put these ones on, and it's like I've had them forever. The pointy ones take a little bit of, they need to mold to your feet a tiny bit, but then they're also incredibly comfortable. And what I've found that even though I've worn them a lot, they continue to look fabulous. They haven't caused me any blisters, and I can wear them all the time. I'll sometimes walk into the house and forget to take them off because that's how comfortable they are. And so I just wanted to share that with you, with a little bit of images of me and the shoes. And they've just been really, really comfortable and great shoes. And I now have 3 pairs of flats that I can wear with any of my lovely outfits. So yeah, thank you, Vivaya, for that. Thank you very much for allowing me to try your shoes out. I know I like them. They're fabulous, and I'm happy to talk about them. Vivaya is offering a 15% discount with Selma 15. They also have sometimes other promotions on their website. It's a lovely new company, only 2 years old, and I'm really enjoying my shoes a lot, so happy to talk about it. So let's end this before you see a segment of me and Kate talking, with a little bit of talk of acquisitions, what she brought, and along the way, our trip and what I got. So Kate arrived from Ireland, and truth be told, I had placed an order with Woolly Knit. Is this ridiculous or what? These are actually 3 skeins of yarn of 200 grams each, which is a little bit larger than their 500 gram cone. I'm pretty sure this is a 500 gram. Yeah, this is a 500 gram cone, and so this is a 600 grams of yarn here. So I ordered these 3 things. This is a cone. They're all British. They're British wool. This was called Morning Frost, this gray. This was their Harvest colorway, and unfortunately I can't remember what this color was, but obviously kind of a navy blue type of color. So Kate brought these for me from England, well, from Ireland, but they were shipped to her from England. I probably wouldn't have bought these because the shipping would have been crazy, but I've certainly wanted to try them, and I feel like I'm holding twins. That's how big they are. They are rather much like a newborn baby almost. So yeah, really excited to try these. There is such a lovely woolly feeling about these. They're really quite wonderful. So Kate was very kind to put those in her suitcase and bring them here for me. Of course, Kate did not come empty-handed. First, she had ordered from Matterroot Bag a couple of bags and gave one to me, which is this beautiful, beautiful ochre linen printed bag. I don't know if you know Matterroot bags. They usually make sort of heftier project bags, but these are just wonderful, wonderful little linen bags. I haven't quite decided if I dare to use this for a knitting project or if I'll use it for something else. It's so beautiful. I could just look at it every day. So thank you for that, Kate. Then she had gotten these bags and printed on them. Crazy yarn lady. Is that me? I think it is. I'm a crazy yarn lady. And in here, you may recall when I made my kevat earlier in the spring. Kevat means spring. I had used some Stolen Stitches Nua that Kate had actually given to me. And so what did she do? She brought more. A beautiful, beautiful green. This is the Frog on the Wall colorway. And oh, I'm totally in love with it. And she brought an entire sweater's worth of this yarn. And then the other thing that she brought was a lovely set of minis from the Irish Artisan Yarn. So really lovely. So thank you very much for all of those goodies, Kate. All these yarn goodies. So Kate arrived, as you know, and we went to Montreal where we had a glorious weekend, and you'll see footage of that. We started out by going to 3 yarn stores on the Friday. Did we go? No, we went to 2 yarn stores. We went to La Maison Tricotée and Espace Tricot. And you will see what Kate got at those 2 shops because she cast on right away. And I ended up getting the Lang Lino that I'm using, the peach colored Lang Lino that I'm using on the Tulip Guernsey. And then we went, we had a very lazy Saturday, early day. We were staying with friends of mine, Paul and Antoine, who you'll see also in the footage. And we just spent the morning with them, had a lovely breakfast, and then in the afternoon we went to downtown Montreal. We went to Crescent Street so that we could see the Leonard Cohen, what do you call it, big billboard mural that's been created in his memory. And we also saw his where he lives, so you'll see that as well. And we went and did a little bit of shopping on St. Catherine Street. And then Sunday we spent the day in Old Montreal, which was absolutely lovely. I haven't been to Old Montreal in a really long time, actually. I realized so long that I didn't know that they had built a Ferris wheel there, much like the London Eye, that slowly goes around and you can see the city from it. I think that's been there for about 4 years, and clearly I haven't been to Old Montreal in a long time. So we went on that Ferris wheel, we walked around, it was absolutely lovely. And then we went quickly to the mountain. Montreal is called Mont Réal, like a royal mountain. So there is a mountain in the city that has a cross at the top. But it is a beautiful, beautiful walk up there, and it's a gorgeous park, and you can see the city from there. So we went. Kitchen sounds are going to happen, by the way. We went there briefly before heading out. And then we came back, and we were here for the week until we left again. And we went on a road trip. We started out with Holly, Kate, and I, and we drove through Perth, Ontario. You'll see footage of Perth. It's a lovely town about an hour from here. And we had lunch and did quite a bit of shopping there. And then we drove to Lindsay, which is close to Fenelon Falls, where the Kawartha Yarn Festival was going to be held on Saturday. And we stayed in Lindsay, we went out for dinner, and Patricia of Paradise Island Bags joined us from Toronto and in the hotel there, and we had dinner together and went back, sat and knit, chatted, and then got up the next day to go off to the festival, which is in a town I'd never been to. I'd never been to Lindsay either, and they're both lovely towns. Phelan Falls is absolutely beautiful. We went into a little yarn shop there I think it was called Between Two Lakes. You'll see footage of that as well as the falls, and a beautiful heron that we saw just sitting there hunting, fishing. Went to the yarn festival, which was lovely. So just when I arrived at the Kawartha Yarn Festival, we bumped into our friend Lori. Actually, we had planned to meet Lori. And Lori very kindly handed me over this package, which I haven't taken out yet. And in here is a whole bunch of yarn that her mother had gifted me. So thank you very much, Lori's mother, for this lovely set of cotton, gorgeous cotton yarn. It's really lovely. This is a Cloud-Born Fibers, a DK cotton, and this is the pearl colorway. So there's a sweater quantity of that, but it also came with a pattern, the Novel Tea Sweater by Laura Nelkin, which is a lovely, lovely pattern. So thank you so much for that. It was so touching to receive this, actually, and I just love it when we've got so many different kinds of people watching the podcast, and somebody and their mother, for example. So that really touched me. So thank you very much for that. First thing I got, and the only thing I really meant to buy, was this project bag. And I'll put the maker's information down below because she didn't have a card for me to take with her. I believe her company is called I Can Sew Make That. And I saw this bag and I thought I could use another large bag. I justified it. And it was really the only thing I intended to buy at the show, was perhaps something like this. And it was just, I couldn't not buy it. Her making was just beautiful. So I got that. However, I then did see some yarn that I walked around, I saw it. When we were leaving, I was like, I'm still thinking about that yarn. And it's not yarn that I've ever seen anywhere. It is from a farm in Ontario, in Millbrook, Ontario, from Twin Pines. They're called Twin Pines alpacas. And they had this beautiful, beautiful yarn. They only had 4 skeins, so I've only got 4 skeins, but they're 200 grams. So I have enough here for essentially a vest. So it will become a vest of some kind. And this is a 65% alpaca, 25% merino, and 10% bamboo. And it just has such a gorgeous feeling to it. All of the colors were beautiful, but I settled on this stunning, gorgeous green yarn. At the festival, I saw some lovely viewers, so hello, and thank you for stopping to say hello. And one viewer was Catherine Pretty, who is a designer. And Catherine was wearing this sweater. There is a better picture inside. Catherine was actually wearing this sweater at the festival. It's a lovely summer top made out of DK cotton, which has a lovely lace detail down the bottom, or down the center, I should say. It is called Catherine, I believe. And it's a lovely pattern, and she actually gave me a copy for you as well. So I will be giving one of those away with one of the prizes. I haven't decided which one yet, but somebody will get a copy of the pattern, a hard copy of the pattern as well. So thank you very much for that, Catherine, and it was lovely chatting with you as well. So yeah, the Kawartha Yarn Festival was absolutely lovely. I also got some lovely goodies we met up with Crystal after, and some lovely goodies from my friends as well, because we met up with Crystal. Then we were 5. We were Kate, Patricia, Holly, Crystal, and myself, and we were in Prince Edward County, and Holly was and Crystal were giving out gifts, and there was this lovely skein of yarn from Isle of Skye Cheviots and Border Collies, which is in where was it now? Alberta, and it's just a beautiful gray. Of course, we all got colors that we love adoringly. And this is a 100% North Country Cheviot wool. So I have to think about what to do with this. I think it would make, I don't know what it would make. It's really beautiful. Absolutely stunning, lovely bounce to it, stunning color. Of course, you know I love gray. And so thank you very much for that. So we met up in Prince Edward County, and after the festival we drove back and just had a lovely time there, had a lovely meal on this beautiful terrace overlooking the area where the Glenora Ferry is, and it was just stunning, at a place called the Miller? I think it's just called the Miller. And then the next day we went to a couple of wineries and partook of some lovely wines and got quite giggly and had a great time. And then the next day we went to Amherst Island on our way back to Ottawa. Patricia had left us at this point, and the 4 of us went off to Amherst Island to Topsy Farms. I did not buy any yarn from Topsy Farms because I still have some that I would like to use, but it was really, really nice to go to their farm and see all their little lambs. They have these foster lambs that are just wonderful, and then we toured the island, which is just beautiful. It's on Lake Ontario, and it's got just lovely sights and lots of sheep and birds. There seem to be a lot of birds that are on the island, and so it was just really very nice. We had a really great 4-day weekend together, and it was just so much fun, so much goodness. It was great. And then a couple of days later, Kate left. So I am going to leave you with, I think I'm going to leave you. You'll have to forgive me if I'm telling you I'm going to do something and then I did it earlier, I do it later, because I was really struggling to figure out how to put all these different elements together. I'm not a very good vlogger. I thought I would vlog when we were out. That just didn't happen. So the next segment is a segment of Kate and I chatting. I hope you'll enjoy. So hello. Here I am with my friend Kate, that you've heard about many, many times. Mm-hmm. And, well, I thought I'd ask Kate 3 questions today to have a little conversation with you. But perhaps you want to tell everybody who you are and who you are not.
Well, I'm Kate, and what can I tell you? I have had a podcast myself. Currently it's hibernating. It's Hawthorne Cottage Craft.
Okay.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kate_Hawthorne Cottage Craft, and that is the place to find me at the moment. But yeah, I'm Kate and I'm from Northern Ireland.
You are?
I am.
From Belfast.
From Belfast.
And welcome.
Thank you.
So I thought I would ask Kate how we know each other. I thought we could sort of chat a little bit. You have heard me talk about Kate. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There is probably not an episode that goes by that your name doesn't get mentioned. So I thought perhaps we could just mention a little bit about how we met. And I think you have better memory than I do.
It was 2017.
Oh, there you go.
And it was social media, really. I watched the Two Tangled Skeins podcast, which you were part of. And that was the first year I went to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and you had said on the podcast that you were coming. So I just reached out to you on Instagram and said, do you fancy a coffee when you're here? We'll meet up. And that was really it. We met, I think, on the Saturday of EYF. Spent the afternoon together.
I think we
did.
did.
We just sat around and chatted, and then after that, we kept in touch a bit, and I had the notion of coming to Rhinebeck.
That's right.
And was panicking about my first solo abroad trip and going into the States on my own, and you said, do you fancy going to Rhinebeck via Ottawa?
Yeah, I said, come over here and we'll all go together.
So I did what I've always advised my children not to do. I went and stayed with people I had met on the internet.
Well, we had met in person.
We'd met in person.
A little
briefly.
bit.
And the following October, I landed here for 2 weeks, and you haven't been able to get rid of me since.
And that's the way it goes, yeah.
And I think I've been here now. I've been here every year bar the pandemic.
Yeah.
I had booked,
and so I think this is your 4th trip here.
This is my 4th trip here. I've done it 3 times on my own, and then I brought my husband and my son the 3rd time. And I was due to come back in 2020, and we were going to go to Rhinebeck. And obviously, world circumstances changed that.
But you are here now. And
Bit
we've
the
had a
bullet and
great
said
time.
I'm coming back.
Right. And so far, you will see at the end of the episode footage of our trip to Montreal, which I've already told you a little bit about. We're currently on our way to the Kawartha Yarn Festival, which I haven't been to yet, but I will have told you about in the other side. So I think, I don't know the order of these things. I'm not a natural vlogger type.
I thought this would be a safe trip for me for yarn and yarn festivals. I thought I'm coming in June. I'll not be tempted.
We won't be talking about any acquisitions today. However,
we have acquired. Yes, we did the Montreal yarn shops. So
yes, we did. Yeah, and we'll show you footage of that at the end, and maybe we'll get a shot of all your acquisitions somehow. But actually, we'll probably end up talking about one of them today.
That could be quite shameful.
Let's put it this way: you've done the Canadian economy proud, have you?
I have bolstered it up. I think it will go on for another while.
So what are you wearing, Kate? Because I think this is actually a recent finish.
This was a finish to come here. I thought I needed. Well, I'm Irish, so I wear sweaters all year, and I wanted a sweater for here. So this is the In Stillness Drop by Alicia Plummer, and it's knit in Rowan Creative Linen, which is a linen cotton mix. That's the wee label. Rowan Creative Linen. And I love it. There's a bit of texture which you can't really see at the top. And then just plain, hangs a wee bit lower at the back.
Oh, does it have short rows?
Just slightly.
Okay.
There's 1 or 2 short rows at the back. So that's, and it's just lovely and light and airy. And I mean, it could be a layering piece, but I actually think today's the first day I've put it on without something underneath, and I think it's actually nicer.
Well done. It looks really nice.
So yeah.
And cotton linen will be perfect. Well, for you, it may
It's still perfect. It's still perfect at home, because at the moment, I would say the weather here has been quite similar to home.
Yeah,
slightly
we haven't
more
had the
humid,
warmest.
Slightly more humid. And when the sun does come out here, it's not Irish sun. But yeah, I'll definitely be able to wear this at
Well,
home.
I think one difference is that when you get sun, there's still clouds. It's pretty rare, is it, that you
No,
have,
if we get sunny days, we wouldn't have clouds.
you could have like
Yeah,
an
oh, no, we could have-
entirely...
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I've just never seen that.
No, I don't think you have. And we rarely see it. I mean,
Okay.
it usually, summer lasts for a day.
Yeah, and there's always humidity here, so as soon as it's 20 degrees, it
So
feels like 24.
This is perfect, and I mean, it certainly will still be perfect at home. Yeah. So I'm really
Excellent.
pleased. And it's the first time I've knit a garment in a cotton linen. I actually think it's the first garment I've knit in linen with anything, and it was really, really pleasant to knit with. I thought the texture would be hard in my hands, because I think that's the experience I have of cotton. It's a heavier cotton, but it was lovely.
And actually, that's something that people complain about, cotton and linen, that it can be a little bit hard on the
Yeah.
hands. But I have to say,
This is soft.
this doesn't actually feel like cotton linen. it almost feels like more of a wool cotton blend, I think.
And it really was pleasant to work on. So
Very nice.
And a very, very quick knit.
Yeah, lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Thank you very much.
My third question is, what are you working on? What did you bring to Canada or perhaps started here?
Okay, well, I had my travel project and like everyone, sorry, reaching forward, everyone's travel project, it's usually socks. So I had been given Shirley Bryan yarn as a gift from Holly that you also hear about here.
And Shirley Bryan Yarns is here in
local.
Ottawa.
Yeah, because I bought some when I was here, picked it up at a house. So I had been sent this at the yarn and I thought I would do it for my travel knit. And I am knitting the Coffee Talk socks by Tracy Miller of the Grocery Girls. And this is what they're coming up like. So the Shirley Bryan sock set comes with a little
I
mini.
love the colour of that mini.
Yeah, which I've just almost put in my coffee. And then this is the Sea Life colourway.
Very nice.
So it's been a really nice knit because the back of it's plain. There's a bit of pattern on the front. It's a 4-row repeat, which I now have. It took me a wee minute just to get it, but I've got it and it has been a really, really pleasant.
Yeah, very, very
knit.
nice. Nice texture. And Becky, her name is actually not Shirley, it's Shirley Bryan Yarns, but her colours are really lovely. She's known for her deconstructed fades, which are so gorgeous.
But
yeah, you got the Aslan colourway,
and it's stunning.
Yeah, I have one too that I really need to cast on because.
So that's been a great travel, and I mean that's handy for the airport, handy for the plane, and I knit a wee bit. I knit on that until I got to Montreal.
In Montreal, we went to a store called Crochet Compagnie, which I already mentioned to you. And Kate.
Well, I actually
sorry, never mind me.
No, well, we
went to two. This is actually from two yarn stores. That's right. Okay.
So now I'm in Selma's house. What am I going to knit in Selma's house? I would say most of you could guess.
We'll give you one guess.
I would say most of you can guess. I already have 2 of them. And I would say most people have 4 or 5 of them. Selma just seems to have a drawer load of them.
I've got 4 of them myself, but I've knit 2 for others. So I've made 6 of them. So if you've been around for a while, you'll probably be able to guess. It starts with an R.
I am knitting the ranunculus. Again, now I'm going to knit a short sleeve version this time. And I'll show you the yarn first. I got this in La Maison Tricoté. And it is...
Handmaiden.
Handmaiden. It's in the bag.
It's handmaiden, the lace weight, and it's a silk linen blend. It's a 65% silk, 35% linen, I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're going to hear some house sounds at this point.
Rustling. I don't have the label. I don't.
That's okay.
Tell a lie.
But it's, I can't remember the name of the yarn, what they've actually called it. But you got it in this gorgeous peach color. This is the lace weight. They do have a lace, a fingering, a DK or sport. There were 3 different weights. But you were looking for a color.
I guess what color. If you know me at all, you know what color I looked at. I was looking at green, and I think I might have looked at blue.
Perhaps,
I certainly had green.
You were actually looking at a grey taupey colour.
Those are my colours. So this is very much out of my comfort zone, but I am loving it. You think I suited? So.
I did, and it was when you put the colour, the one that you had chosen, I was like, that's just not doing it for some reason. And then I said, what about this?
Yeah. So I got that, and then I needed a mohair to go with it. So in Boutique Crochet Co.
Crochet Compagnie, yeah. This one's from La Maison Tricoté.
Yeah. I got some Fibre Space Cumulus label, and
in that peachy colour.
This peachy colour.
And so those 2 are coming along together. Yeah. So we actually both have peach coloured whips on the go because
we're twinsies.
I've already talked about the fact that I've got one as well.
So I'm on the. There's just yarn everywhere. I'm on the yoke.
Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous.
Just so nice. I just love, I have to say, I'm really enjoying the way it's knitting up.
Yeah, it's really, really gorgeous. And I haven't knit with Surrey, I have to say.
Yes, it's Surrey.
So it's nice to see. I would say it's a little bit less hairy than mohair.
It's softer.
It is softer than mohair, just because mohair can have those hairs around that can get a little prickly.
It's
This is definitely
74% baby Surrey alpaca and 26 mulberry silk.
okay. Really gorgeous, Kate.
It's very, very soft.
I have to say, I mean, this just, I'm clearly going through a peach orange phase this year. I want one too.
I think she should.
Maybe the next time I'm in Montreal.
I'm looking very Irish.
Very, very nice.
So,
Yeah.
there you go. So that's what I'm working on, and I'll get some more of it done maybe when I'm sitting over the weekend, when we're on our travels and hitting the yarn festivals and trying not to buy more yarn, but we'll feel miserable.
Wish us luck.
I have to get this bag home.
So thank you for joining me for these
Thank
few
you for
minutes of
having me.
talk, and here you go. Hope you've enjoyed this segment.
Yeah, and I will hopefully see you at some point, but I'm not sure when. And but you can see me on Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Just popping in quickly to say thank you for watching. If you're still here through all the different segments that I had today, I'm leaving you with footage from our time together in Montreal, as well as our road trip to the Kawartha area and Prince Edward County. Hope you enjoy. Hope you see you next time. Don't forget to leave a comment below if you'd like to enter for the prize. Take care.
Una mattina mi sono svegliato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono svegliato e ho trovato l'invaso. Oh partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Oh partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. E se io muoio sulla montagna, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E se io muoio sulla montagna, tu mi devi seppellire, e tu mi devi seppellire. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E tu mi devi seppellire sotto l'ombra di un bel fiore. che passeranno. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E tutti quelli che passeranno poi diranno che bel fiore. E questo è il fiore del partigiano. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. E questo è il fiore del partigiano. Pronto per la libertà. E questo è il fiore del partigiano. Pronto per la libertà.
Hello there. We got Kate, we got Holly, and me. And we're on our way to Lindsay, where we're going to stay, and tomorrow we're going to the Kawartha Yarn Festival, so we'll take you along.
stars have come in close just to see you, I suppose, and they're a-gleaming. You must be dreaming, and the sun has said goodbye with a twinkle in his eye. He's left the ocean with sweet emotion. We go dancing in the rain, riding on the midnight train, away so slowly. And the moon is looking down on the sleepy side of town, and he's so lonely. I love you only. I love you only. All the birds have taken flight. It's their favorite time of night, when they can hear you from somewhere near you. And the palm trees try to bend to be closer to their friends. They're made of magic. Reach out and grab